What's going on? It's Astronaut H, and this is the What More Do You Want Network. Now, in this video, I will be talking about today's game between the Chicago Bulls and Detroit Pistons. And of course, this is my Bulls report. Now, I don't know if you guys knew or to the channel, but today's game was played in Paris, France. This is the first time the Bulls actually were in Paris since, I believe, 1997. So it was interesting to see fans come out and support basically one of the better teams that's been in the NBA for, all these years. We remember the Michael Jordan days and things like that. So the Chicago Bulls are very popular, and fans definitely came out and supported them. But the good thing about today's game that, was one of the biggest bright spots was DeMar DeRozan was able to play after missing the last several games. You got to see, what Zach LaVine, after coming off such a great end of the year, beginning of the year, same thing for Vucevic, and see what happens when DeMar DeRozan goes back into the fold, along with, of course, the starters, Ayo Dosunmu and Patrick Williams. As far as Detroit, of course, we all know that there was no Cade Cunningham, but they did still have Jaden Ivey. Isaiah Stewart was back. Killian Hayes, and they did have Bogdanovic. So today I felt like it was a formidable matchup. The Bulls have played good against the Pistons in previous matchups. So I was just interested to see how today's game was going to play out. It was a very, very early start. The game was about 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe that was fairly late. Over in Paris, I believe it's like a 6 to 7 hour difference. So now, Vucevic did have the first bucket of the game, but you did see him looking for his offense early. And that's one thing, like, when Billy Donovan, chooses to go to Vucevic early and the offense goes through him and the team is playing through him early, I feel like that can dictate the inside-outside game. But you did see Ayo with an early foul, but Patrick Williams came on and got an early three. You seen the Bulls take a 9-2 lead before Coach Casey actually called a timeout, get his guys back into the fold. DeMar DeRozan did look very springy early. You seen him with a early dunk early on in this game, and that let me know that the knee is fine. The knee is fine. A player would not be doing that if the knee was not, if any lower body injury was bothering them. So you saw that, and I knew from the onset, okay, DeRozan should go out here and be looking to attack. You've seen the two-man game by DeRozan and Vucevic early, drives by Zach LaVine, but the Pistons, they got back in the game because of their threes, whether it was Bogdanovic, whether it was Sadiq Bey, they definitely got back into the game because of their threes. But you did see drives by Ayo, but the Pistons kept finding their way back in the game. Mainly a player that, I feel like he's not always on the scouting report, but Hamidou Diallo was definitely one of those guys in today's game. You've seen the Bulls defense leading the offense, whether it was Alex Caruso and them getting steals, also deflections. Points in the paint was really big by Chicago. And after one, the Bulls did lead the game by 7, which was 31-24. In the second, you seen them go back to the same thing. Vucevic ended up with the first basket of the second. You seen DeMar DeRozan looking for his offense. But the Pistons, they kept getting their breaks where they would get like loose balls and ended up getting into the basket and things like that. Now, you did see You did see Derrick Jones Jr. getting great passes from Dragic, who did pour in some good minutes. But the Pistons, they started to get their fouls. But again, Vucevic was assertive from the onset of this game. You see him being very assertive. More Patrick Williams threes in the second. DeMar DeRozan looked great in the half, honestly. He didn't look like the knee was bothering him at all. You also seeing Chicago's defense at the end of the second quarter, which I did. This one thing that I had to, pinpoint with the second quarter was Chicago's defense at the end of the second. It just looked a little shaky. It looked like okay, they were a little laxed at the end, and that led to Detroit coming back, but the Bulls did end up leading at the half by 9, 56. You seen Ayo with the first bucket of the third, and then Zach LaVine picking up where he left off. Ayo was aggressive. DeRozan was getting to his spots. The Bulls were up as much as 16 in the third. Again, more of Zach LaVine's offense, but again, guys like Hamidou Diallo was keeping the Pistons somewhere in the thick of this game. The Bulls' defense to offense was great. I liked how they was getting out on the break. Guys was going for loose balls. I liked how guys were, bodying up on defense. It was one sequence where you seen the Bulls play just a great 24 seconds of defense, and I feel like they have to do a lot more of that. Now, one player that I wanted to have a big game, or I thought was going to have a big game, was Kobe, and in the fourth quarter, he did bring his offense. He did score the first 8 points of Chicago's points in the fourth. But the Pistons, they battled back and got the lead down to as much as 9. But that was as far or as close as they would get in this matchup. The Chicago Bulls did end up winning tonight's game by a score of 126 to 108. This is the Bulls. I believe this is their third, if I'm not mistaken, for a second, I think this is the third time that the Chicago Bulls have beaten the Detroit Pistons so far this season. Now, as far as box scores go, the Bulls did put up 33 points in the fourth. They put up 28 in the third, 34 points in the second, and 31 points in the first. I can honestly say that was great scoring, and when I read off this box score, it was very, very balanced. You had DeMar DeRozan in his first game back since missing several games. He had 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 26 points. Patrick Williams poured in 10 points, 6 rebounds. Vucevic with another double-double, 16 points, 15 rebounds. You seen Zach LaVine was the high man with 30. 5 rebounds, 4 assists. You seen Ayo Dosunmu with 13, Kobe White with 10. Derrick Jones Jr., who came off the bench and played really, really well, had 12 points off the bench. Alex Caruso did have 10. Dragic did have 3. It was balanced overall from the Chicago Bulls. As far as assists go, the Bulls did have 23. And anytime the Bulls assist numbers are somewhere over 20, they win the basketball game. So that was something to look at. As far as the Pistons, of course, their bright spot was Bogdanovich. No addition to Killian Hayes, who I thought was going to have a good coming out party since he is from the Paris, France area. Jaden Ivey did pour in 16. You seen Jalen Duren with a double-double. Hamidou Diallo did have 17 off their bench, along with Sadiq Bey, who had 16. And like I said, today's game was just one of those things that you see from the Bulls and you say, okay, they are capable of putting together wins. You beat the Warriors, you come back and you beat a Detroit Pistons team who I feel like you are supposed to do that to, right? I feel like that's what the Bulls are supposed to do to teams like the Detroit Pistons. Show up, show out, go home. Now, the Bulls do not play again for some time. I believe their next game isn't until next week, Monday sometime. And that's against the Atlanta Hawks, who, of course, are a formidable opponent. And the Bulls have had trouble with the Hawks this year. Now, I'm interested to see how everything unfolds, so to speak, and see what happens going forward. It's a lot of rumors swirling around the Chicago Bulls right about now with, potential trades and things like that. And I'm going to keep you guys posted as the information comes to me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Chicago Bulls fan, Detroit Pistons fans, or if you're just an NBA fan and it's your first time tuning into this channel, please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can know anytime a video is being uploaded to this channel. As Astronaut H, this is the What More Do You Want Network, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.